In this demonstration, we are going to talk about the Upsert Directive. The Upsert Directive is used to enforce uniqueness on some predicates while running concurrent upserts. Please note that the Upsert Directive is different from the Upsert block. The Upsert block is about combining multiple queries and mutations in a single request. Let's imagine that your client is sending order transactions to Dgraph. For some reason, this client is receiving duplicate transactions at the same time, maybe through a message queue, for example, right? So here are two transactions, which is essentially having the same order number and the same quantity and the item that are hitting Dgraph concurrently. Now, normally you would presume that two records get created, but we can use the Upsert Directive in such a way that we can fail one of the transactions and enforce uniqueness when these transactions are coming in a concurrent manner. Let's review the schema for the order. In multiple orders, we will have unique order numbers, but sometimes if the same order is sent twice, the order number will be repeated in those messages. So the order number here is modeled as a string with an exact index. At this time, we are not switching on the Upsert Directive. The order quantity is int while the product name is string. Let's try and insert these two records that we just talked about concurrently. So here's a Python client and everything is set up and we can start making these concurrent transactions. So here's the order, here's the order number, here's the product name, and here's the quantity, right? So I've opened two consoles here to simulate concurrent transactions. It will be easy for us to track. So now I'm going to send these two transactions one by one. Here's the first transaction. It's awaiting a commit. Let me go to the second console. Here's the second transaction. It contains the same details as the first one. Great. Now we can begin committing these two transactions. Let's go to order transaction A here and commit. Great, it's done. I'm going to commit the second transaction and see if there is any error. There has been no error. Looks like both orders have gone through. We can confirm this in the RETL UI. So if I take the order number 1 here and query, you can see that the order number has gone in twice. Now this is obviously something we want to avoid. Let's now switch on the Upsert Directive on the order number and see how these transactions behave. Let's now switch on the Upsert Directive on the schema for the order number. Great. Now we will again send the same order twice, this time with a new order, order number 3. We will check for exceptions again. So here's the first one. Here's the second one. Great, both the transactions are now sent to Dgraph. We are going to commit them one by one. Looks like this went through correctly, and now we will try the second one. It looks like there was an exception, and if you see the exception, it belongs to the class pydgraph.errors.aborted_error. This is a specific exception that is thrown by transaction aborts. Now in this case, you have seen that the order 3 was saved only once. Let's confirm this through the console. If I search for order 3, I find only one record, which means the uniqueness on the order number was preserved while the transactions were coming in concurrently. This is how the Upsert directive can be used. Thank you.